Hey everybody, how's it going? I hit the live button a couple minutes early because I can't be on too long tonight. 45 minutes maybe, hour max, because I have to go out and check on critters and break up ice. But hey there, Xander, Dark Lord Minute, hi CB, Hugo Homestead. Hey, Strange Reality. Hey, Broke Cowgirl. Hope everybody's doing well. Hey, Tony and Angie at our cabin in the woods. Hey, Suburban Hillbilly. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Andale Homestead. Hey there, Blue Collar Homestead. Hey, Craig and Debbie. Yeah, I know. It wasn't too bad today. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's cold, but it wasn't too bad today. It's tomorrow into Monday is going to suck. Hey, Lisa Clovey. Hey, Blue Self-Reliance. Hey, Scotty Too Hottie. I thought I said Xander. Maybe you didn't hear me. I don't know if that was for me. Yeah, massive wins, huh? Woof. Crazy. Hey, Kathleen, my Alabama farm life. So, yeah, we are, Craig said -8, I think, or minus is 9. Let's see. Yeah, mine says -11. And the wind chill is -22. Oh, okay. Got it, Xander. Because I've worked really hard, Xander. I just want you to know that. Because I don't like offending people. Hey, Lantern Creek. Hey, Holman's Homestead. I know, Gwen. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so not too bad yet. I mean, I want to say typical winter temperatures for us, when we have a cold spell, right? We've had -30 before, and so I can deal with that. But yeah, I don't know. Tomorrow through Monday it just makes me anxious for the critters. Otherwise, we're fine. But it makes me anxious for the critters because they're outside. So today we got a bunch of bales of straw, which is something we struggle to have storage for. So we got a bunch of bales of straw, and we threw that in the barns along with the already multiple bags of shavings they have that we did this week. Hey, Carla, living a rogue life. Yeah, and there's people who have it worse. Gwen, it always can be worse. That's the reality. A lot of people are dealing with flooding and all that kind of stuff, and it's just crazy. So, oh, sorry, Spartman. I'm glad you're here, though. So, yeah, so we'll just see what happens. I'll leave it at that. And so anyway, everybody's settled in. Waylon is a trooper. That little pig is a trooper, and he is out there. They're doing well. So after this, I've got to break up some ice. I've got the chickens that we got in March this year that are now, pullets. Well, they're all laying. They want to be out in the indoor run. And I'm like, so I have to shack them in, and then I have to go out and break up ice on the stock tank. That's the only one that I have trouble with. So, but I did put a floating stock tank heater out there versus the one we have that sits on the bottom because I had to break through the ice this morning. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, Sparkman, I've had enough of it already. So, a lot of people wanted to talk declutter. like whenever I post about decluttering, I have noticed that there's a huge response to it. And like I said last week, I feel that's a homestead issue also, because we homesteaders like to keep things and we don't want to part with it. Ooh, Carla's got news. So hold on. Hold on to your good news because I want to hear all about it. And so decluttering is a huge thing for a lot of people. Lisa, I seen the carpet on the door opening for the pigs. Question, do they try to eat it? Mine do not. Mine do not. I put the carpet on the door. It's screwed in with screws and flat washers to hold it. It has a slit up taller than they are. We have the same style on the little pig door. And then on Grant and Norman's barn, we have a moving blanket secured in the same manner, but no slit. And they've figured out how to get in and out of it. And what it does is it just helps insulate things a lot better. So they're out of the draft because they all lay by the door. And I don't know if it's like a protection thing, but they all lay with their faces towards the door. Let's see. Sorry, I'm kind of distracted tonight. I'm trying to do my best here. But if you know me, I get anxious when the temps get this cold because I worry about the animals. According to the phone, we are at negative 25 wind chill. Yeah, I just said ours, and I think it's negative 11, and it feels like negative 22. And we were snowing earlier. That seems to have stopped, I think. All right, Blue, I said hi to you, I believe, my friend. Hey, Milk and Honey Heritage Farms, Heather. Yeah, and exactly. I think this is exactly why it's a homesteader issue. And that's why I wanted to talk about it. So what I wanted you guys to bring tonight was like, if you have something you're struggling with, you need help with, something, some really good progress you want to share, some whatever, throw it out there. So Carla, why don't you start us out? No, I'm not saying his name. I'm not saying his name. He's so funny. Is it okay if I read that, Carla, online? Yeah, Anne, it's, ugh, I don't like it, Anne. If it's one time, I can deal with it. But if it's going to be like last winter where we're going to have it all the way through, I'm not saying his name, ladies and gentlemen. Carla said the producer of the show Hoarders has a new show coming out called Clutter and Collections, and she made the casting call. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. That would be very exciting. Very exciting. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. You guys are hilarious. Good luck to you. That would be awesome. That is wonderful, Carla. We will be sending prayers, positive energy, whatever you need your way. Keep us posted. Please do. Thanks for sharing. Blue Collar wants to put a greenhouse up over my entire property. He wants to help me. Ryan and I had that conversation. Oh, no worries, Annette. Do what you got to do, friend. Ryan and I were talking about that, and we said he was playing the lotto, and he said if he won, we would have most of the property in a greenhouse. And I said that would be great. I struggle with paper. I take notes daily. I can't remember everything, so I write down everything I learn. I use notebooks. A notebook like for work would be really great. you know? So I that's helpful. Like I used to have notebooks for work all the time. Carla said I need courage to open up about the depth of clutter. Carla, we're here for you. It's a safe place. I will block anyone who gets nasty with you, and you know that. Tell Ryan to go big and win enough to get you what you sent me today. Yeah, no kidding. He's not one yet. I keep telling him it's an algorithm, just like YouTube. My lists have lists. Yeah, totally. I get it. I get it. It's just crazy. The shelves arrived yesterday, so now I can finally get the office sorted, and that doom pile will be history by the end of the week. Nice. Good job, Blue. You got this. That's awesome. Look at you wanting a greenhouse as a major thing. Can't hide a real gardener. Mind you, and first the barn would go in. A barn would be first. Then there would be a greenhouse. Hey, SD Mountain Man. Pretty sure all of us hoard miscellaneous livestock. Yeah. How do you organize your stacks of notebooks? I don't have stacks. I've learned to write down, like if it's a how to do something, I write down the steps very simplistically, but enough that I can read it to go back and complete the steps. But I don't have stacks of notebooks for anything else. If I need stacks of notebooks, I end up just getting reference books, quite honestly. You know, because you're always going to forget some details. I'm not somebody who remembers everything. How many chickens before you become a chicken hoarder? Oh, you're good, Kathleen. You have coops for them. They're not in your house. You're good. You're good, my friend. I don't know. We had almost 50 at one point, and they were in their coop, and they fit in there just fine. So we're going to be scaling back on them. How many do you have, Kathleen? Just curious. Yeah, see, Xander has 75 hens and 3 roosters. I'm not a hoarder of them yet. Yep. I'm still in chaos over here. Thankfully, we have the grands visit enough that the rooms are at least usable. Good, good. SD Mountain Man said he's close to 40. My other half buys everything in bulk, and while it's not a hoard, it's more useful stuff than we could ever use. And now we have one closet, no garage, and almost everything in the house is company related. Totally get it. Totally get it. Blue Collar has 64 chickens. Pretty sure we're almost there. Suburban Hillbilly, I think you're saying hello to my moderator, but I just want to make sure because I said hello to you earlier. Broke Cowgirl, I use spiral notebooks a lot, use them for recipes, garden notebook, YouTube notebook. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, and like I said last week, I mean, hoarding is no joke. It's sadness. It's really sadness. It's a whole thing related to anxiety and all that stuff. You know, I think that it's a term that is used a lot that isn't used in its true form. You know what I mean? So it kind of diminishes how bad it is. But hey, again, hey. White shelves to add kitchen cabinets. Just cute them today and bam, done. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome, Heather. Sparkman's around 20 or 30. All those freeloaders. Yeah, lots of freeloaders here too. Yeah, I think we're going to scale back a lot. So, well, Sparkman, it's related to a lot of loss. a lot of fear loss, a lot of anxiety. And it's really just not being able to part with the memories. And it's really sad. It's a really, like I said, I've worked with folks who do that, and it's a real sad, sad situation because it's so painful for them, very painful for them. Yep, exactly. You could throw all their stuff and you'd be traumatizing them. It's not something you can do. So that's right. That's right, Carla. When you're in a relationship, for better or worse, it is hard. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk about decluttering. Is anybody like wanting to do it and struggling? That's what I want to know. And while I'm waiting for that, so again, if you're struggling, let me know what you're struggling with and we'll talk about it. But I wanted to go back to, I know it's Alicia. I think she's under Strange Reality tonight about her notebooks. Let me just go back. Yeah. So you have notebooks, if you put them if you label them and put on what's in them and put what topic it is, and then you put it on a shelf, like a bookshelf, that can help you to organize them. Scotty Too Hottie is going to downsize, so there'll be a lot of stuff they don't need. Suburban hillbilly. I mean, do you really need to scale back your garden plans? Just curious. I mean, you know what you need. Yeah, Lantern Creek, you're doing a lot of chicken business, so that makes sense. Yes, Holman's Homestead. I've seen this happen too. It's just very, very scary. I've seen house fires where people were trapped. It's absolutely devastating. And ugh. The sentimental stuff is hard to get rid of. It really is. And that's the thing. Like, I try to say if you start taking stuff out, right, and make piles, and you say, okay, this is a maybe pile, this is a sentimental pile, and then you try to turn around and decide, at the end of the project when you're putting everything back and you're like, I don't know if I'm ready to get rid of this. That's okay. Get rid of what you can. But I mean, ask yourself certain things. Do I really need this? I haven't used it in 2 years. What makes me think I'm going to need it? What's my attachment to it? All that kind of thing. But the sentimental stuff, put it in a box that says sentimental maybe. And then maybe get to it another time when you're not doing the whole closet or whatever. You know what I mean? I just stopped my mother from buying something for the ranch because we have 3 at home, saves money, and we get rid of something here. Good. Good. It's too long to get into here, Gwen, but I see what you're saying. But there's definitely a lot of anxiety, crippling anxiety and trauma behind it. A lot of people struggle to understand it. And then what happens is everything spirals so bad that there's no going back. It's just too overwhelming. I have a lot of shelves too, Kathleen. I totally get that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have to realize that what is the word for it? Why am I drawing a blank? Sensationalism of hoarding on TV and YouTube is really not the reality. You're seeing this sensationalized version. And sometimes I find it exploitive. Depends. I feed Country Companion when I can get it. My brain says I can do what I did 20 years ago. My body says no. I wonder if your local FFA program at a high school would be able to help you. Just a thought, because it would teach them, give you an opportunity to teach them. Good morning, Annette, our urban homestead. Sorry, guys, I'm behind in the chat. Okay, Andale says, I mean, I struggle to start. I really do have the family give me all their leftovers, which I love. But once I get started, I'm pretty okay. Yeah, I think it's normal to do that. And that's why I suggested taking stuff out of the closet and immediately starting the pile. Because that way, if you're done and you don't want to do it anymore, you can close the door and leave the stuff out. And that reminds you to get back to it. But it also gets you started. You've already started the process of piling it or putting it in totes. So I like that part of it. Once I get started, I'm on fire, but it takes me forever. I have binders, a pocket folder to organize loose paper. I'm leaving. Oh. If you got the emotional, sentimental attachment, maybe you need to look at why, you know? I have it too, but at some point I have to realize that I can't keep it all. And I don't know where it's going to go when I'm gone. If you really care about the person hoarding, you're very careful of moving everything into a box can be upsetting. Yep, very much so. Very much so. In fact, all that chaos of having stuff around the person diminishes anxiety, whereas moving it causes it all over again. Thanks, Lisa Colovi. Well, you know what, Gwen? I always tell people that mental health is just like diabetes. If your blood sugar levels are off and not right, you're not right. You don't feel well, you're sick. It's the same thing with mental health. It's the same thing with mental health, right? Because there's neurotransmitters and all that stuff. It is, Anne. It is. It's very hard. Someone told me to take pictures of all the pictures and let the pictures go. And, you know, if you think about how we treat pictures nowadays, we don't look at them all the time like we did, you know, in albums, and we don't put them in albums. And one of the things my mom did, and my mom was like a master cleaner outer of stuff, she would, excuse me, she would go through the pictures, and the ones that really struck her would be the ones she kept. And the rest she would let go. But again, if you're not ready to let go of that stuff, I totally get it. But like I've had to let go of, my mom has like in my kitchen now, my mom has like this teacup collection. She didn't even have it her whole life. She started getting them at yard sales later in life. And it was one of the few things she held on to when she went into senior living. So I kept them, but I can't keep them forever. So I'm going to let them go. But I have other things, you know, I have like I have her jewelry. I'll never wear it. I'm going to go through it. She was buried with her wedding rings. So, which is what she wanted. And I wanted her to have them. So for me, the meaningful stuff went with her. Spartman says, I need to clean out a couple rooms at home. Wife likes to buy a lot of stuff, then never use it. I've been guilty of that myself. Things like my grandmother's meal chest, butter molds, her antique canning jars. Keep them then. Declutter other stuff. But if you have antique canning jars and you have, say, a whole closet full of antique canning jars, ask yourself, do you really need to store all of those? Maybe keep one case of all the jar, like one of each of the jars that makes you really think of her. You know, it's hard because I can't decide for you. You have to do it. Yeah, shelves and totes are really good. Scott, SC Mountain Man. My mom saves everything. Dad throws it out, tells her she doesn't know where it went. They're perfect for each other. Yeah, it's true. Yep, you're right, Kathleen. I'm going to try to move through the chat a little quicker. I'm really behind. Yeah, and Carla, that's something I would worry about for you. So just be careful of that. I don't want anyone I care about exploited. I don't want anyone exploited. No worries, Blue. Hey, Christine. Hope you're doing well. I've got my dad's older tractor sitting in my yard waiting for me to work on it. I came across some old photos, realized it's been sitting in the same spot for almost 10 years now. Time flies. Time flies. Get to it. Not today, though. Was that Diesel texting to ask if he could come on the show? No. Okay, y'all, don't hate. And we would never hate you. I was saving so much for my children. They said, Mama, we don't want it. Just act like you died and get rid of it. I totally get that. And that's the thing, Anne. I talked about that last week, and I think you were here. My son is not sentimental. Not sentimental. So I'm not prepared to give them to him. So it's like, you got to do something. Oh, wow. I am so far behind. Sorry, guys. I knew a real hoarder. You wouldn't believe the house. The house got condemned. Yeah. Yeah. And people get evicted. Excuse me. Making a collage of all the pictures. I've done them before. It's time for a new one. Good idea. It's hard to grasp that sentimental attachments, a fear of losing the memory it attaches us to. Yep, for sure. So I was on the other side of hoarding. My mom and I and my aunt were true pack rat when they both moved, and this was two different households. I was the one that had to clean it up. Yeah. Yeah. I don't even think anything needs to be said to that. So true. I would keep the pictures. Sooner or later, the cloud, Google, and maybe the entire internet may fail. Pictures will be gone forever. Yeah. Being a crafter, I always have little bits of this and that everywhere I saw it. Yep. Yeah. And that's the thing. You know, one of the things that I did was when I sorted out the craft room, spare bedroom, and then we sorted out the closet that is in there. There was a lot of Christmas stuff in there. And then until I got to the office, I put some craft stuff in a tote. Now my soaping stuff and my candle stuff is in there, but they're both marked, two separate totes. I do that because it's safer to keep the stuff in. But when I pull it out, I knew where everything was now. So when I got that crafting room all set up, I was able to pull out a tote and then eliminate a tote by putting everything on my shelves. But I even looked through all the stuff that I was putting on my shelves. And if it's garbage, it went. Because I'm famous for keeping ribbons off packages and stuff like that. And For the purposes that I would need them now, I don't. It was time. It was time. Thank you, Suburban Hillbilly. I appreciate that. I have 20 cases of canning jars just waiting to be used. That's Tony. Oh, well, you'll use them, Tony. That makes sense. So, for example, the video I put out on the toilet paper and all that was one auction. There was a killer auction after that. A lot of the stuff we bid on went for more money than we wanted to spend, so we ended up not winning a lot. But I did win several cases of canning jars. Now, I didn't go to the auction to look. I didn't peruse the inventory. I did it online. So one of the things that I did was I looked for a canning jar name on it. And so several cases were fine. One case I saw there was an antique one in there, and I said, but the other jars look pretty good. What I found out was, now I got them really cheap, so it's not the end of the world. I still feel I got a good deal. What I found was there were a lot of jars in there that were like spaghetti sauce jars that were not canning jars. They look like canning jars. They were not. So I got rid of them, and anything rusted, I got rid of, which is, what happens when you do an auction. I want to go back to Rebecca. Touched by Yarn. I always wonder what I should do with the tombstone clock. That was my grandmother's. It doesn't even run now. Anybody have any feedback for Rebecca? Here are my thoughts. How important is it to you? And if it's really important to you, can you get it fixed so you can enjoy it? Just a thought. But I'll wait for everybody else to start digging in. Carla said the Swedish do death cleaning. Huh. My husband has Swede in him. Maybe that's what's going on. They annually get rid of things that their heirs would not want or use. Did everybody get that? The Swedish do death cleaning. They annually get rid of things that their heirs would not want or use. I'm pretty sure my son would not want anything here. I better start going. Yep, little bits that'll come in handy seem to be drowning me in here, and I have 6 boxes that were packed in the sweep of an arm. Exactly, Blue. Time for them to go. Of course, when I say stuff like that, that's your call, not mine. We live in a small house. Tony's when SHTF, he's ready to can all his meats. Lantern Creek, we live in a small house, so it's very easy for things to get out of hand. We just don't have a lot of time to go through stuff. I would love to start cleaning unused stuff out of here, though. Yep. Okay, Gwen, have a good evening. Thank you, Lisa Colovi. My only heir is my son. So annually I can get rid of all my cleaning products, vacuum broom, etc. And Dale said, what a good idea, death cleaning, so my kids don't have to do it. Well, here's the funny story. When my dad died, my mom always told my dad before he died. Now, he died in 2010 pretty suddenly, but he was older, but pretty suddenly. She always said to him in her New York accent, Bob, I'm gonna get a dumpster. And she did. She did. And I think it was a way to work through her grief too. But let me tell you something. She cleaned through that house like you wouldn't believe. Fast forward, when we go to get her and move her down, fast forward when we go to move her down to North Carolina as her Alzheimer's progressed, we cleaned out her house in a weekend. It was a whirlwind. And we brought her back to my house or our home in North Carolina. So it was crazy. It was Rebecca Touched by Yarn, Carla, who has the tombstone clock. So yeah, but she always said that. She didn't want to be a burden. My son keeps telling me throw things away. We fill up 2 garbage cans every week. Wow. Excuse me. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, we're always getting rid of stuff. And it was insane. We didn't get rid of, we packed up everything that we were taking. Excuse me. So it was me, Ryan, my son, his pregnant wife at the time. She had a ranch, 1-floor ranch home, but it had a basement. So we packed it all up in a weekend. It was like Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And we had a moving truck, and what we did was we made arrangements to leave stuff in the basement for someone to come pick up for us, and we gave somebody a key to come get it. So we didn't have to do that stuff, if that makes sense. But yeah, bring your kids in and show them all the stuff you're thinking about saving for them and see what they say is a great idea, because they may not want it. I mean, if your kids don't want it, let it go. My brother-in-law tells his dad all the time, when you die, I'm running a bobcat in a dumpster. Hey, River Rat Homestead. Hope you're doing well, Red. Hey there, Ariella. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it was insane. But we got it all done because she had been cleaning it out for like 2 years before we got her. So it was really helpful. And then basically what happened was, as she got sicker, her room got smaller in the places she was going to. Instead of having an apartment, like the senior living was like independent. The Alzheimer facilities were a lot smaller. And so we ended up diminishing it each time. So after I finally got divorced and got full custody of the kids, we went through the house and found so much crap. We almost killed our garbage man. Yeah. Yeah. Local places will take this stuff for the needy. And I've decided, I've made an executive decision. I was talking about saving it for a yard sale. I will not be doing it. It is all getting donated. No worries, Smart Man. Don't apologize, my friend. So all that stuff is getting donated. In fact, I've got a few Instagram friends. 2 of them are getting books that I'm sending to them. One needed a raincoat. I'm sending a raincoat to her. So better to get rid of it. It's just so, and I think I said this last week, but like you go in your closet and you go to get something and stuff's not falling on you. You can find what you need. And if it's not there, it's not there. End of story, because you've cleaned it out. And, so it's just reality. I'm laughing because Spartman says, so was it Diesel who texted earlier? No. Spartman, I got to give you a funny story. And I know Suburban Hillbilly will laugh at this too. Ryan and I were just talking about it tonight. When we lived in North Carolina, this is off the decluttering. So, squirrel. When we lived in North Carolina, closer to Asheville, we had foundation drains. So the gutters went down into these foundation drains, and then it went under the ground away from the house. When we first got Diesel, he found one. And guess what? He decided to pull the drain out of the ground. He was a madman. Bulldogs, when they get obsessed with something, yeah. Diesel's got a lot of baggage. um, yeah, seriously. And then I ended up getting a call from a family member that said, sent me a video and said, can you come home and please take care of Diesel? Oh, yeah, totally Diesel. My mother passed away when I was 6. I have her wedding album. I have a niece that would like it, but I'm having a hard time letting it go. But if I don't when I die, it'll end up in the trash. Yep. Yep. Decide when you're ready to let it go. And you're blessed to have a niece who wants it. I have my parents' wedding album and nobody wants it. It's crazy. Tony said, where we live, we have a place for the town to drop off stuff free to anyone who needs it. That's awesome. I'm going to take mine to Goodwill in Rapid City. And the reason why is because I will be able to drop it all off and it will either go to people who need it or it will go to help fund programs that need it. I don't have kids. Can't have kids. And my husband hates my writing those journals. So I'm saving everything for myself. Well, organize them. And if you organize them, it's different. I mean, are you willing to say how many you have, Alicia? And if not, I totally get it. Definitely hard to help anyone declutter. You might see junk, they see treasure. Yep. Not poor, sweet, innocent Diesel. He was framed. No, he was not. LOL, brilliant. As long as I breathe, Diesel has a backup home with lots of love. Diesel's got a lot of baggage, Carla. A lot of baggage. Yes, Suburban Hillbilly. I know you do. Not really. He is not a bone dog, Alicia. Yogi was a bone dog through and through. Diesel is a soft toy dog. He I went through Diesel's toys. Now, mind you, he had all of his toys that he came with and that we've bought him through the years. And then I had a whole basket full of Yogi's toys. Yogi likes hard toys. He was a rough chewer and would tear soft stuff apart. Diesel's the opposite. So the other night I went through all his toys and I was sitting on the floor with him and we were going through it. I mean, there was just like an inch thick of dust on it. And I said, Diesel, you don't need all these toys. They need to go to the rescue dogs. So, like he's listening, right? Here's the thing. He was whimpering the whole time. So, but we ended up getting rid of an entire double bagged grocery bag of toys packed full that is going to the local shelter. I washed them in Dawn and vinegar. And they're all nice and clean and sterile. I made sure they were in good shape. And they'll go in the donation bin. But he was whimpering. So then later that night when I had to I just like annually I try to wash all of his toys. I went to wash all his toys. I had to wait till he was asleep. Why? Because he would have started whimpering again. He's a sucker. My kids laugh. Oh, your son does not want grandma's wedding album for his children? Nope. He's not a sentimental kid. Some people aren't. My kids laugh at me for saving newspapers from when Kennedy died. And of course, everything about when Elvis passed. Yeah. I get it. A lot of the clutter I have now is stuff I need to get to my son, but it's going to be too expensive to ship it. So I'm trying to figure out, or I have to get on the phone with him and decide if he wants it or not. Then I'll get rid of it. Carla said, I have 12 journals with only a page or two written on, but I love the leather covers. Cut out the journal stuff, and then you've got brand new ones for like gardening. That's what I do. I have one that was a journal that I cut out some of the pages, and I use it as my pig record book, so to speak. Breeding, what happened, how it went. Alicia says, 5 notebooks, farming, homesteading, 3 high school journals, papers organized in folders. Oof, you got a lot. Organize them if they mean something to you. Organize them. I love his baggage too. Mine has a toy that I can only give to him for a few hours. He cries and talks to it every minute he has it. Oh, cute. You're decluttering, giving stuff away on Facebook. Oh my gosh, that's weird. So weird. Oh yeah, and it was bad. He was sitting there whimpering. If it makes you feel any better, I had to tear our black drain pipes up myself. The neighbor's cat had chased a squirrel into it and was at the end waiting for his victim. Oh, geez. And your hubs just had oral surgery. He also thinks washing of toys means he won't see those again. Yeah, that and his stink is off of him. He's so ridiculous. Oh, wow. It sounds like they mean something to you, Alicia. Sounds like they mean something to you. Those clear plastic pages might help to put those pages in a small binder. Awesome. Hey, Nightbot. Red, you're so funny. Yeah, Alexander, I have to wash him. Diesel is not a stinky dog. That's one thing I will say about him. Yogi would start to smell. Now, his stuff will smell, but really it's just they start from all the drool. They start looking gray, and it's time. I made the cat a bed out of her favorite jumper of mine, and she threw up on it badly, so I washed it, and she never used it again. Rotten cat. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, Alicia. Nothing wrong with that at all. Absolutely. Have a good night, Blue Collar Homestead. Take care, you guys. Stay warm. But any last minute thoughts, guys? Because I think I'm going to get going soon. Just because, like I said, I got to go take care of chickens and check on everybody. And Dale said, I'm pretty sure I never washed a dog toy. My beagle smells to high heaven so much more than my huskies. Wow. Wow. Yeah, it's ironic. Diesel can go months without a bath and he's fine. Yogi used to get bathed constantly. Not a lot in the fact that it would hurt his skin, but it was actually to ward off bacterial infections. Yeah, I washed my cat's clamshell bed. He didn't want to use it until I started sitting back on it. Then he was like, give it back. Oh, no problem, Andale. I hope it's helping, folks. Do we want to talk about this again or no? We want to move on. I just want to hear what you guys have to say. Thank you, River Rat. Thank you, Milk and Honey. Yeah, I'm just curious if you guys want to talk more about decluttering, or are we good and time to move on? Move on to newer pastures. Checking up on progress? Okay. Do you have a dog carrier with, you could wrap a dog carrier or a dog crate in blankets, or insulate the inside with blue foam, like the foam board that people use, and then cover it with tarps and blankets. Or given it's Texas and it won't be as cold as here, you could put a heating blanket on the bottom of the crate and would help them. Okay. Sounds like everybody. All right, we'll keep talking about it. We'll keep talking about it next week then. All right, well, I'm about to start coughing again because I got to go back outside. Good luck to you, Carla. We got a few months to go. We got a few months to go until it's warm. That's what Heather's trying to say, until we're gardening. Lady here in the neighborhood takes cardboard boxes, covers it with blankets, puts cushions in the boxes, then takes a big tarp and puts it over those. Nice. All right. Well, I'm glad it's motivating and inspiring and all that. So come back for another Decluttering Live next week. All right, guys. Well, thanks for being here and thanks for understanding that I got to kill it early tonight. Okay. Have a good one, y'all. Take care. Bye.